If both of my racers can let me know in the tournament chat that they are ready to rock and roll. It looks like both runners ready to rock and roll. I'm going to count it down to 3, 2, 1, go, and we're going to start our timers on go. 3, 2, 1, go. And we are going to attempt to pull game audio here off of Ruby's stream. And we'll see.
Looks like Xerint having a bit of a slow start here. Perhaps we can get a bit more of a sync from Aaron. Maybe just pause Ruby's stream for a second here. It's quite far off.
Let's see. Give me just a second here. I think I can get things fixed up. That's a little bit closer.
Yeah.
We'll be able to tell the difference here. Just about 5 seconds different in between these matches, but that's why we've got our own timers so we can see where everyone is at. And it sounds like we've got game audio coming from Ruby.
Absolutely. Xerint killing me with the no milliseconds on his timer. Only seconds here. But nevertheless, let's kick this off, see how Ruby does. Lining up this Lakitu skip here. Nailing it as expected. Very consistent runner. And you'll notice that RWBYSorry has his gameplay video crystal clear. He is running on MU. Xerint is on N64. So it'd be about a 7-second advantage to RWBYSorry here, as he is running, actually maybe a bit more considering Xerint's running on English version as well. So maybe about no more than 8-9 seconds of an advantage here. So Xerint nailing that Lakitu skip. And Ruby missing the bomb clip.
Missing bomb clip.
Pro, though, gets a firstie off that little wall kick. Let's see how he backs it up.
Meanwhile, Xerint looks like perfect execution. Got a medium-sized bomb, but that's not going to be a difference here today. Both runners heading to Womp's Fortress after snagging that first star.
Yeah, and that's unfortunately going to be about a 5-second lead, give or take, to Xerint there, but really not a huge deal. But a little bit mentally tilting to kick off a tournament race here. You know, Ruby, as we mentioned, hasn't done a tournament for a while, so a bit out of practice perhaps, but been doing a lot of 120s, so we expect the movement to be pretty crisp here.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of strats we see out of both runners here as they both enter the painting for Womp's Fortress. Xerint up the ramp first. It looks like he is having a little battle with a Piranha Plant, heading up for Owlus. Both runners opting for Owlus first. Xerint nails it. Ruby nails it.
Yeah, looking very solid. Looks like Xerint kind of does the simply Owlus there, where you line up on the right side of the island, which is a bit more consistent and actually allows you to get a first frame wall kick. So it's a bit more of like a consistent setup, but it is a bit newer than the old setup, say like the Drogi kind of setup, if you're familiar with watching tutorials or anything. So see how this cannonless goes. Looks like both runners are going to elect for the sock folder setup, but Xerint having a bit of trouble here. Let's see how Ruby does.
Ruby
made up quite a bit of time. Absolutely. Looking really hot.
Xerint just about 4 seconds ahead of Ruby on the star grab.
Yeah, so 4 seconds, such a small amount of time to really be ahead right now, especially here in Womps. And I anticipate, both runners kind of just going to be warming up a bit, maybe with this first match. Definitely anticipate this one to go to 3, though. Their PBs are so similar in LBLJ and no LBLJ, so both very experienced, and this should be fun.
So we've both knocked out shooting to the Wild Blue. We're going to hop up to the Womp King. Get some ground pounds on this block. Ruby long jumping up the ramp, getting the speed kick, getting up there pretty quickly. Xerint also nailing the speed kick. No ledge grabs here today. Both of them had a nice little conversation with this Womp King, and we are doing our ground pound thing.
Yeah, so Xerint's going to be saving just a little bit of time over Ruby with that movement. He went for the fence clip kind of movement that allows you to triple jump right up that slope, whereas Ruby kind of elected to go over the fence and long jump, which is a bit more consistent, a bit less difficult. So Ruby probably just going for a bit more consistency right now. He is a 120 runner, so you expect to see maybe not as crazy of strats going on, because he's used to having to play more consistently over the long haul.
And I think that the name of the game here in the 16-star races so far has been consistency. Ruby going for the triple jump, nailing it, and Xerint with the triple jump dive, nailing it as well. Xerint still 4 seconds ahead on the star grab, so these runners are pretty much neck and neck here heading out of Womps.
Yeah, both playing very solidly. The only mistake here being Ruby's issue with bomb clip, but other than that, very solid gameplay. Very curious to see what wall kicks will work strat we're going to see here, as well as when we head into basement, we could see a side hop from either of the runners. If I had to guess, I would probably say that Xerint is more than likely going for side hop, just saving a bit of time.
And Ruby lines up. He's going to go for some safe strats here. Meanwhile, Xerint is going to grab our penguin first. Getting a little bit tripped up there, but looks like he's going to survive it. And Ruby snagging the star. The penguin has safely been delivered back to mom.
What a guy.
What a guy.
Yeah, interesting to see the baby penguin strat first. Not that it really matters with like this order, I guess, in this category, but typically we see the wall kick strat first. And Ruby almost taking a bonk into the chimney there. Could have been a pretty devastating time loss. I think it's like 9 seconds difference, maybe 8 seconds difference. And let's see how Xerint does. This wall kicks will work. He's going to take a
missed
spill.
The dive. Great backup here. Oh, getting the ledge grab. Xerint still sitting about, what is it, about 5-6 seconds ahead? But anything can happen here in Dark World. We'll see what kind of cycles that both of these runners line up here in Dark World Reds.
Yeah, and might I add with those, let's go back a split. Schnoz64 actually had a better Womp split in both races than both Xerint and Ruby here, which just goes to show how difficult this 16-star category is. Oh, Ruby taking a ground pound.
And our runners are perfectly in sync here. But, oh, Ruby missing the switch. That could cost him the cycle here.
Yeah, it might cost him shake cycle here. We'll see what Xerint does. But yeah, as I was saying, that Womp split is pretty important, but just goes to show how important the late game is in 16-star as well. Flicks are coming back, and Ruby getting
amped.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate. Really nothing you can do about it other than try to avoid. Looks like Ruby is still able to snag normal cycle here. More than likely, gets it.
Squeaked it out there.
Yeah, very, very close. It's always a risk doing that, but when you're confident in your movement, like Ruby is here, not too bad. And Xerint's going to take a bit more of a lead.
It's like 8 seconds now. It's Xerint with the 730 star grab, Ruby with a 738 star grab here in Womps. Or I'm sorry, here in Dark World.
So we got a little splice from Xerint, no big deal.
Let's see if we can get that up to speed. Here we go.
And nailing the throw is Xerint here, as well as Ruby. That should hit. And looking pretty good. Just an 8-second lead. Nothing too crazy. Anything can happen in basement. Couple, not crazy tough stars. We'll see if they go for side hop to save a couple seconds. But
and it looks like we've got a half dab out of Ruby. Consider it verified. Where is Salt and Ginger when we need him? Put the check mark next to Ruby's name. We like to see dabs here in this channel. I see some calls for the dab in chat, and Ruby does not disappoint. Dab or it doesn't count. That's correct.
So Ruby's going to go ahead and dab, not die, I hope not. Freudian slip. Read a little bit ahead of the script. Sorry about that. Going to dab and fire seed. Sorry, no script. I was joking. It was a joke. Anyway, let us see what we got. Xerint. So it looks like Xerint's not going to go for side hop and LLL.
As he is grabbing Talons first. Both runners going for Talons first here. Xerint lining up to grab that star off the pyramid. Beautiful execution there. Speed kick from Ruby. And Ruby using Lakitu C down cam. That's my preferred cam as well. I know a lot of runners like to use Mario C down there so they can see the star and line up. But I just learned it that way, and I miss the star all the time, and I haven't changed it.
Yeah, one of those things you're going to have to learn, unfortunately. And, SSL, typically pretty chill. Looks like Ruby's going for the kind of simply camera here for this top of the pyramid star. And looking pretty good. I have been going over a lot of lag reduction strats, a lot of micro optimizations for my gameplay lately. So it's really interesting to see. A lot of people think that the movement looks pretty similar in this game from runner to runner, but it is quite different. Simply plays different from Punkay, who plays different from Cheese, who plays different from Paracusia. So it's very interesting to you can kind of almost tell who watches who based on their gameplay.
And I get most of my movement and lag reduction tips from GTM when he's in my chat watching my stream. So that's where I learn the great things. One of the things that we'll see if these runners pull off today or try to pull off is spamming C left when you're heading out of HMC, heading towards MIPS to reduce the lag before and after the door there. Something I just learned recently that I'm having a lot of fun with.
Yep, you can also see right, spam C right. At the end of the pyramid star, not pyramid star, at the end of the red coin puzzle star in LOL. Also saves a bit of lag. So many micro optimizations that you can learn in this game. So it's very fun. And Xerint going for the left side.
Beautiful triple jump
good.
there. And Ruby showing off the other strat here at the long jump and snags the star as well. Both runners sitting at 14 stars.
Still so Xerint's going to save a bit of time there. Yeah, sorry. Xerint's going to save a bit of time there. I think theoretically, the right side is actually faster if you do it perfectly, but it's pretty difficult to do so. So you even see runners like Aki going for the left side. So just kind of an interesting little tidbit there is Xerint gets pretty nasty RNG, but avoids it like a pro and finishes up rolling rocks pretty well. Ruby the game's treating him a bit nicer, but he misses the wall kick. Had a couple frames to do it.
Oh, and then he can't grab the star. Looks like he was inside the star's hitbox and still couldn't grab it with those kick stalls there. Meanwhile, Xerint heading over to MIPS. Let's see what MIPS has in store for us today. Beautiful grab right in front of the star. Ruby,
very safe grab.
Not needing to mess with that C left optimization since he's running an emulator here. And another beautiful grab right in front of the door. And Xerint looks like he's lined up for a pretty good first clip. Ruby will attempt his first clip as Xerint heads towards that 30-star door and right through with the swag backflip.
Looking pretty good. I'm not sure about this camera angle from Ruby, but it looks good, though.
Wouldn't be what I would have done, but he made it right through.
Yeah, looking pretty good. And we'll see how this... Oh, and he was going for the pro entry there into the door, but unfortunately missed it, but not a huge time loss. And Xerint is definitely quite a bit ahead. I mean, we're probably looking at like 15 seconds now. Not exactly sure, but BLJs are the great equalizer. You can be good at BLJs, but sometimes they just don't go your way. So we'll see here how BLJs are going to treat us. But I mean, I guess we can't get too far ahead of ourselves. We still have Fire C.
We still have Fire C, and that'd be a good chance for Ruby to catch up. With a faster cycle in Fire C. I don't know, since he hasn't been running 16 star, how well he'd be practiced on Fire C without getting reds. But it'll be interesting to see how these guys shape up.
Yeah, let's go ahead and look at Xerint here. Probably going for the early cycle, I would assume. Probably no pole glitch. Yeah, it looks like he's going to avoid the pole glitch here and just go for the early cycle. Nice big wall kick over the top of this triple jump. And he's looking pretty good so far. He should be able to make this without too much of an issue, so long as he gets pretty clean rollouts. Is Ruby taking a burn? That might spell the end for the cycle for him, which would unfortunately lose him a bit of time. But Xerint
clearing that early cycle. That was great.
Yeah, didn't need to wall kick there even, which was pretty nice. But, that's a little bit scary. Xerint kind of having some issues getting those long jumps, but...
He's going to take an early burn and dive into the funnel. Meanwhile, Ruby still trying to get up that moving ramp. Xerint adding to his lead here.
Ruby having the same issue here. So Ruby's was a cycle behind, unfortunately. But we're not really sure. Let's see how this throw treats Xerint. Looking good.
Nice throw by Xerint there. Ruby lining up, about to grab that Bowser tail once the stage levels out here. Nice clean grab. And took a little extra spin there just for good measure.
So a 14:21 exit from Xerint. Let's see what Ruby's is. It's to be maybe 25 seconds behind right now.
Oh, and Ruby with the full out dab.
I'm bad at math. I think it's 25. Not exactly sure. Maybe 24. But nevertheless, let's see how these BLJs treat Xerint.
This is the great equalizer here in 16 star. Xerint lined up a little
Oh,
crooked,
right
but right on the money. What a beautiful first BLJ.
Yeah, that's quite nutty. I was not a fan of that angle, but right up in there. And yeah, he's looking quite good at this point. And the second, oh my goodness, Xerint, absolute madman.
Those are some beautiful BLJs. You can, oh yeah, Ruby right through after a couple ground pounds. Xerint here and Bowser in the sky, lining up that triple jump to the rotating platform, and he is looking good in bits. Meanwhile, Ruby heading to that 70-star staircase. Let's see how quickly he can nail these BLJs. Kind of moving the stick a little. Oh, gets caught by the invisible wall. He knows the backup straight into the level there for Bowser in the sky.
So if Xerint can actually nail this left side here, he's easy PB pace, and looks like he does. And yeah, he's going into throws probably about the 16-minute mark, which puts him. Oh, he no! Spill. He's fine though. Everything's fine. It takes another.
This could cost him a 16 in this race here. I think it will.
Probably can still with decent throws squeak it out, but definitely gonna be a bit harder. Not a crazy mistake here, but a mistake. And Ruby's just taking the pole gang. You can tell he is definitely a 120 runner. Let's see how these throws go for Xerint.
First throw, he nails it. Coming back for the regrab.
And looking at about a 16.5x if he can hit this last throw here.
The second one looks good. Second throw. Could we see a 16 out of Xerint? He nails the third throw.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're looking at about a 16.50. So absolutely just nutty. But, I mean, congrats to Xerint. What a great first race. That's definitely what you want to see.
When Xerint came into the tournament, his PB was 17.27, sitting at a 16.51 in his first race here. Yeah,
absolute pro. Also, cannot believe that first throw missed from Ruby. That was just obscene.
So that was nailing his second attempt there. Coming back around, spinning Bowser for that second bomb. Nice, beautiful throw here as well. Good re-grab. Go ahead.
I mean, what an excellent race by Xerint, but I mean, you can't count Ruby out. Missed that last throw, unfortunately, but still going to be sub 18 pace here if he can hit this last one. So still a really excellent showing from Ruby. So we'll see how this game 2 sort of pans out.
Yeah, absolutely. Really not that much time in between these runners for the majority of the race. Xerint just absolutely executing. I mean, that's the word of the day is execution. Really knocking it out of the park. GG's to both these runners. 16:51 at exactly a minute apart. 16:51 and 17:51. Wow, what a show.
Yeah, Xerint crushed his PB, looking to be about, it's a 16:51, and his no LBLJ, actually he just tied his LBLJ PB. Wow. Maybe get a retime. Perhaps we actually saw a real 16-star PB out of Xerint there. I don't know if it was a 1650 or 1651. It looked pretty close, but unbelievable. Absolutely smashed that no LBLJ PB.
That's wild. That's what we wanted to see here. We thought we might see some PBs in the main bracket. Wasn't sure if we were going to see any PBs in the pro bracket. I wasn't expecting it, but wow, what a treat to see Xerint knock out that 16:51.
Yeah, that was an absolutely incredible race from both Xerint and Ruby. Ruby not running 16 for a long time. 17:51, not too shabby with 2 missed throws. So Ruby definitely showing that he's a good and a skilled runner in his own right. But man, what a race from Xerint.
Yeah, and GTM reminding us that he PB'd in his first race too. It was a no LBLJ PB for Racing Man 1 for GTM in his first race in the first round of the pro bracket as well. Sorry we missed you there. There have been 2 PBs in the pro bracket. My apologies to GTM.
Yeah, GTM can suck it up. He's fine.
I think he'll be okay. I just want to get a go-ahead, a good to go from both my runners in Discord. that they are ready for the second of the best of 3 race here. Looks like Ruby is ready. I want to give Xerint the opportunity to let us know that he is ready as well. And it looks like both runners are ready. I'm going to count it down. 3, 2, 1, go. Once again. 3, 2, 1, go. And we'll see how these timers sync up this time around. I can try and bring Xerint back ahead a little bit. About the same delay as the race before. Just about 4 or 5 seconds difference between these runners, but that's why we've got 2 timers on the screen for you folks at home.
Yeah, very excited for the second race here. We'll see if Xerint can continue playing the way that he has been. Pretty nutty, but maybe Ruby kind of got a little bit of the rust, cobwebs shaken off a bit, and can pull a low 17, because it was more than possible. Struggled a little bit on BLJs and obviously lost a bit of time with that, missing the bomb clip. So he has everything he needs to be competitive here with Xerint, but that was just a nutty run.
So, Collins, if you're Xerint in this run, what's your strategy? You're 1 run ahead. You won by a full minute. How do you play this next run?
I mean, I would just play it exactly the same, which sounds kind of like a cop-out, but he was very consistent and did very consistent strats. Nothing was crazy. Honestly, the hardest thing that he probably did that race was pro wall kicks will work, and then he went for shig cycle, but those are both pretty easy for Xerint. So I would just keep playing it the way that I have been, not really change anything up, and hope to get some more of those godly BLJs, because that certainly helped him snag that PB.
As Ruby lines up for his bomb clip, nailing it first try this time and snagging the star. Xerint heading towards that bomb in Bob-omb Battlefield. Oh, whoa, what is this?
Xerint,
could he still make it in? Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness.
This is going to cost Xerint some time, missing the wall kick as well, but headed back.
Yeah, commentator's curse. Oh, my goodness. Sorry about that one, Xerint. That was unfortunate, but looks like this one's good to go.
Anything we've got to do for the content here, if we've got to curse a runner to force a third game, that's what we'll do. The people want to see 3.
Oh, absolutely. I was honestly anticipating a third match here. Yeah, Xerint having a bit of issue there with movement, but no worries. Let's see how Ruby does with this Owless. Nailed it last time, so hopefully no commentator's curse here. Looking good, though.
Oh, that dive there. Beautiful setup, though. And we've got Xerint heading in up the ramp here in a moment to head for Alice as well. Couple of dives. Looks like going for fence clip, missing it.
Yeah, getting bodied by the Piranha.
Let's see. Lining up a little too far to the right, and he's going to take a spill.
Xerint having some issues here. Quite unfortunate. Uh-oh.
And could he be a little bit tilted here? Going for double jump, Alice missing it as well.
Oh, my goodness, Xerint. We told you the script called for a close second race, not this. Sorry, what? Anyway, Ruby nailing that sock folder setup.
And it looks like chat is not unhappy with Xerint throwing a little bit of this race so they can see 3.
Yeah, we all want a literally Flixer in his first race. Flixer, we're not going to talk about it. And let's see how Xerint does with this cannonless here. Does he go for texture? No. Not going to make up any time. Quick sock folder, and let's see how he finishes off. Looking good, though.
Meanwhile, Ruby headed in to grab his 5th star. He wants to go see the Womp King about getting his gold.
You know, I've never asked Ruby what controller he uses. I'd be curious to know that, and I'm sure he'll answer me in a second here. But I know his partner in crime, Jay Mill of Ruby Mill, uses an Xbox One controller. Has quite a few pretty swag-looking Xbox One controllers. So very curious to see what Ruby runs on, actually.
I'm curious as well. When I first started learning the game, I ran on an Xbox One controller, and I thought that I was going to struggle moving to an N64 controller, and I switched to console, and sure enough, I didn't. It is so much easier, for me at least, to run this game with the notches in the controller. Xerint with a nice fence clip kickstall up to the Womp King. Meanwhile, Ruby is going to head to top of the tower to grab the 6th and final star in this run. Beautiful triple jump up to the elevator. A clean Womps out of Ruby. It looks like it's going to be a low 440, a 442 out of Womps from Ruby. That's not a bad time at all for this category.
Yeah, not at all. Still even more impressed. Oh, and Ruby taking a bonk. That's all right.
Bonk for the fans. I know that those in my channel very used to the bonk, and it's a fan favorite here.
Let's see. So Xerint, okay, that was a nice backup. That was very clean, and ends up getting the fence clip here. And let's see what he gets out of Womps here. About a 15-second star for Tower, but had a bit of a mishap at the beginning. Looks like he's going to be exiting with a 5:15, so not terrible, but definitely not how you want to start the race, because Ruby takes some damage doing wall kicks. That's fine.
Still looking good. He did a little rollout and a quick wall kick to get back up there. Is actually quite beautiful.
Yeah, that on-the-fly kind of backup movement is very important. Something we haven't really touched upon for this tournament so far is you got to know your backups. Newer runners just like to reset real quick when they make a mistake, but when you're in a tournament, you got to know how to roll with the mistakes, roll with the punches, so to speak, and know that backup movement.
Absolutely. Xerint missing the penguin grab 2-3 times here before.
Man. Uh-oh. Okay, this is fine. See, that's what I'm talking about, that backup movement. You got to know that kind of stuff. Could have spelled disaster, but Xerint luckily enough backing it up pretty decently.
Meanwhile, Ruby a little sketchy getting out of CCM, but he's got a healthy lead here. Side flipping up to the 8-star door for Bowser in the Dark World. And Xerint's still got another star to grab here. It'll be interesting to see if Ruby plays it safe. This race is pretty much his. But a lot can happen, as we've seen in the Mushroom Cup here the past couple of days in the first round.
Taking a burn. Got to go for the backup here, but missing it. That's fine. It's not a huge time loss, but when you start messing up that movement at the beginning of Dark World, it can be very, very confusing. But luckily enough, Ruby seems to be in the clear here, making this normal cycle movement for Dark World here. I mean, that could be a very scary kind of circumstance, especially when the switch is pressed and you have to make it to that red. It's pretty tough. Did he miss that other red? I think he got it.
He definitely got it, as we just saw a 6 pop up on the 6th red, 7, and now 8. As
Looking good.
Let's see if he can make up some time here, capitalize on that time loss. So far, a great switch grab, good clean movement heading up to the 2nd red coin. Pro movement onto the box there, didn't roll out, but still fast enough to catch an early cycle. Long jump fence clip as Ruby heads into Bowser 1. Let's see if he can nail his throw.
Yeah, Xerint can definitely make up a lot of time here, not only with the shake cycle, which looks like he's going to get.
It looks like he nailed it.
But also the ending, Ruby had a tough time, but also Ruby missed the throw. Just needs a little bit. Yeah, there we go.
Not a huge time loss in a race situation here. Missing that throw. Not throwing Bowser off the course is the real win here. Well, meanwhile, Xerint grabbing the star at 8:01. Ruby grabbing his key right at 8:10. We got a key grab from Ruby at 8:10 in Dark World. Let's see what this key grab time looks like for Xerint. We'll get a good idea of how far apart these runners are. Oh, taking a bonk from Bowser, getting bodied by the big guy.
Yeah, perhaps Xerint feeling a bit more nerves now, a little more on the line with the second race, because you can't really give Ruby too many mistakes, because he will capitalize. They are very similar caliber runners. Although Xerint does not run 120, so it's hard to say, category to category, but overall, I would probably give it to the consistency of a 120 runner. It depends, though, especially in a category like No IBLJ. There's really not a lot of room to make mistakes. So as soon as you give a runner like Ruby, some time to play with, he's probably not going to let it go.
And it doesn't look like he is slowing down, grabbing that talent star. Again, using that Lakitu C down. That warms my heart to see a runner that's better than me using that camera.
Yeah, I got yelled at by Okami for that last night. We were going over my old PB in 70, one of my 55s and 70 star. Was not too happy seeing the Lakitu cam there. So interesting move from Xerint. Looks like he's actually going to go for side hop here. Decides he needs the time save. So we're going to be a little bit out of sync in terms of star order. Oh, actually, no. He actually just decided to do pyramid first for some reason.
Interesting. Usually, correct me if I'm wrong here, Collins, you would definitely want to do your talons first and use pyramid as a backup if something went wrong with the shy guy or the star grab.
Yeah. So
in a race situation.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, you can still back up Talon Star by not doing Pyramid Star regardless. You can just go meet the Talon by that 4th pillar. But I think it's even faster as well. I'm not exactly sure, though. Don't quote me. But I guess in a race situation, it would make more sense to do Talon first. It would absolutely make more sense just in case. But, not really a big deal. Speaking of hypotheticals here, because Xerint nailed the Talon Star. So not really much of an issue.
Oh,
and actually missed a red.
Missing a red here in Lava Land.
Nice backup, though.
Ruby heading in for his first start in HMC. Just got 2 to grab here. Emergency exit and rolling rocks. Looks like he is going to go for the right side emergency exit first. Beautiful execution on the wall kick. I know that wall kick can be tough from time to time just to get straight up to that platform without a ledge grab. Xerint.
Yeah, there's a pretty consistent camera setup there too. If you go Mario Cam C down, just depends on who you are as a runner. And Xerint taking a big old jump with the Toad Star. Yeah, as I was saying, there's a pretty consistent Mario Cam upright notch setup with that wall kick. If any newer runners are struggling, Yukikipedia is your friend there, folks. Definitely go to the Yukikipedia and look at your strats, update what you can. But anyway,
we've got a command for that in chat. It's !RTA that'll actually link you to the RTA guide there, which I've just shouted out for
awesome.
our viewers here.
So pretty interesting that Ruby actually goes for the around the other way for the MIPS grab. I'm not really sure what kind of time loss that is. I don't really see a lot of 16 runners doing that. And Xerint gets kind of trolled by the rocks twice in a row. That's pretty unfortunate. And Ruby, unfortunately, struggling with the MIPS clip here. Cannot give Xerint any time, because Xerint's going to be lining up for this MIPS clip here himself as well.
Looks like Ruby's still struggling to get the camera where he wants it with that jump.
That looks
there.
good. Yeah, that one's good.
And he'll head to the 30-star door. Nice clean clip this second time, heading into Dire Docks. Meanwhile, Xerint just grabbing MIP, spawning the star, which he won't grab.
I hope not, at least.
And setting up for his first clip, and it looks to be pretty clean.
Yeah, absolutely going to make up some time on Ruby there. And let's see what he does for the second clip. He's actually not going to go for the pro clip, but looking pretty good. And Ruby's still a bit ahead here. But, BLJ's, like we've stated, the great equalizer. And also, Ruby missed that cycle last time in Fire Sea. So it's definitely something to look out for here. Xerint can make up a bit of time on him.
Beautiful movement on top of the sub there for Ruby, not having to worry about the lag that Xerint's about to get when he gets there. Xerint holding C down as he approaches the back of the sub. We don't want those sub polygons to load because that's going to slow down his N64. Opting to jump up from the side of the fin there. Oh, a little bit of a wonky side flip, but he's still up there.
Oh, and Ruby gets the firstie off the wall kick there. Sorry to interrupt, but man, that just sucks because that'll probably spell the end of the early cycle for Ruby. Was looking really clean up until that point, but getting that firstie, it's really tough to grab the pole there, I think, if not impossible. So that's quite unfortunate. So now Xerint has a lot of time to make up here.
This is Xerint's opportunity here to catch an earlier cycle. Those long jumps on the left side looking good for Ruby. And he is going to enter the funnel at 14:04. Oh, Xerint getting hung up on the moving ramps, and I don't think he's going to be able to make it. He's also going to have to take normal cycle here. Just getting caught up at the very end.
Perhaps Xerint a touch nervous here with a couple of these mistakes. I don't want to say it too early, but Ruby almost missed a throw. That was close. Man, that one you can almost never really tell, but perhaps maybe go into a game 3 here. Don't want to leak the script by any chance, but if anybody talks about the script in chat, you are banned automatically. I have no power to do so, but you are banned.
I want to point out, sorry to interrupt, I want to point out real quick, Ruby with a solid dab on the Bowser 2 fight there. Took his time setting up that dab, looked left, looked right. It looked great to me. Chat, can we hear about how that dab looked?
Let's see how Ruby does with these BLJs. Had a bit of a struggle with them last time, but we will see here. He has quite a lead on Xerint so far.
And
looking good
like
from Ruby.
Nailed it.
Oh my goodness. And we'll see his pipe entry. I've been doing a poor job of kind of getting the entry times for these runners, but see how Ruby does the 70-star door. Looking good. Looks like he caught, not getting the invis wall this time, and he has a, get in there, buddy, 1538 pipe entry. So we'll see where Xerint's is. But Ruby on an absolute tear right now. Perhaps PB pace for Noah BLJ, and he's going for the fast.
Wow,
oh my goodness.
What a great setup.
Yeah, making my heart stop there, Ruby. You are ahead, buddy. Not a huge necessity to go for those crazy strats, but oh my goodness, heart just actually stopped for a second. But nice BLJs from Xerint here. He is a 1605 entry, so Ruby just got to hit these throws pretty much. Pole gang, very consistent. He's just got to get into this pipe here. So the only thing that I could see being an issue here would be the Goomba, but the Goomba looks fine. Squeaks 15 not deciding to troll us today. Had to do it. Sorry.
You started in before I had a chance.
Whenever there's a Goomba on screen, one of the commentators is just like, come on, let me say it. Let me say it.
Oh, Xerint getting a little bit tripped up on left side here, but still nails it with the ledge grab.
Oh, and Ruby's going to miss that first throw. That's so unfortunate.
Throws could be the equalizer here.
Yeah, he's really got to hit these throws. No pressure, I guess. That one's good.
Meanwhile, Xerint, missing the pipe on the dive. You don't see that every day. Ruby's second throw looking good. Taking his time to set it up. You can't blame him. Just got one more to hit here.
Yep. And that one's going to miss.
Wide right. Xerint's got a chance.
That one looks like it'll
first.
Hit. Yep, but Ruby's just got to hit this throw.
And dead good. Center. Wow, it did come down to throws. Let's see what the final times are for these runners. This was a close race.
Looks like we got a race 3, everybody. This is definitely something else here. And Xerint nailing those throws. Xerint playing very, very consistently. 1737 from Ruby. Oh, actually, we forgot. Oh my goodness. I was under the impression they were synced the entire time. Xerint only losing by like a couple of seconds.
5-second difference in final time. This race was closer than anybody could have imagined. So we've got a win for Xerint in the first race and a win for Ruby in the second.
Yeah, what an absolute nut. Ruby pulling it out, 2 missed throws. So maybe we see, I don't know, game 3, it's really going to come down to those throws. So Ruby got to kind of get it together here for this last match. But man, what a great second race. And it looks like it probably is that bomb clip mistake cost Xerint the race, or at least the tie.
And we're going to give these runners a little bit of time in between these races here to get set up. Xerint apologizing for the stream delay. No problem at all. We're just happy to have you. Making sure nobody's peeking. Now, what do you expect to see out of race 3 here, Collins? I think, personally, after those first 2 races, it's going to be close. I think that you might see a little bit of nerves, both runners knowing they just need one win to move on to the second round. We've got money on the line here. Ruby joining the tournament today. He's all of a sudden got a shot to move on to the second round. Only 4 rounds in the pro bracket here, so it doesn't take much to take home that purse. What are you thinking about this third race here? What do you expect to see?
So I'm anticipating Ruby to play pretty much exactly the same. I'm expecting to see probably a low to mid 17. I think that Xerint probably is going to get has gotten the nerves out of the way, and I think we might see a similar performance to the first race. I could be totally wrong, but I kind of think that maybe that was a little bit of nerves on Xerint's end. I think maybe what happened was he pretty decisively won the first match, so he kind of relaxed a little bit, and then maybe got a bit nervous when he kind of started making a few mistakes. It looks like he's practicing double jump Alice here. Hope that doesn't happen. We're
going to give him some time to practice. Ruby needed a short break before this next race. I just wanted to give a quick shout out. Xerint TV. Thanks for the Prime sub, adding to that goal of 200 subs by a week from Friday by the tournament championship. Also, Smith Jr. gifting 7 subs early in the stream today, helping to contribute towards that prize purse for the runners. Really wanted to show off real quick our prizes for those of you who joined us late. This pro bracket tonight is a winner take all up to $200 prize. Right now we're sitting at $100 for that prize. If we reach 200 subs by Friday before the championship, we'll up that by $50. And if we reach 100 stickers sold in my sticker store, ! Stickers, we will add another $50 to the pro bracket winner take all prize, and we'll be adding 25 for each on the main bracket as well. Real quick, let's take a look at the main bracket while we're waiting for Ruby. We've got heats 4, 5, and 6 tomorrow. Heats 4, 5, and 6 at 10:30 a.m., 3 p.m., and 7 p.m. These heats are 5-man and 4-man races of the lowest PBs in the main bracket. They're vying for a spot in the first round. The races have been down to the second at the end. We've also had somebody drop. You'll see some question marks there. Doom, thanks for the 5. You'll see some question marks there at the bottom against Matt Jen. We had a runner drop out of the main bracket. So what we've decided to do is take the best time out of all 6 heats. So we're looking at about 26 runners in the first 6 heats. The best time out of heats 1 through 6 that did not win their heat are still going to get a spot on the bracket there. So even if you don't win your heat, there's still some up for grabs there. The main bracket's been really exciting to watch, a ton of fun as well. So heading back to our pro bracket race scene here. Looks like Ruby is ready. I just want to wait until we hear from Xerint that he is ready as well. On his screen, he looks ready. And in the Discord, he says he's ready. So we're going to count it down again. 3, 2, 1, go. We're going to start our timers on go. 3, 2, 1, go.
So, I just want to reiterate that Ruby has not run 16-star nor done a tournament in super long, at least has not done a tourney in at least 2 years. So to come in and be competitive with a runner like Xerint is pretty impressive in its own right. But, not to discredit Xerint, he's played extremely well so far. That first race, absolutely insane. So looking forward to this game 3. And looks like Xerint's a 70 runner primarily. I can tell by the 51. Xerint, not as familiar with Xerint, I suppose. So that's my bad. Looks like we might be having some issues with Xerint's screen here.
It's okay. I think it is just his stream. It should clear up here, and shortly he is streaming in 720. Just might have some. There we go. It'd be a little bit of a bitrate drop there.
Yeah, that's the dynamic bitrate for you. It's actually better than dropping frames, in my opinion. But yeah, Ruby nailing his Lakitu skip. I really think that, he is kind of shaking the cobwebs off here, and Xerint following up with a very nice Lakitu skip of his own. So we've had both runners have a mishap with bomb clip. Let's see how it treats them this time.
Want to give a quick shout out while Ruby's headed towards that first bomb clip. Quick shout out to F Symbols in the chat for purchasing 2 stickers. Much appreciated. We'll update the total in between races. I really appreciate it. Ruby nailing that first bomb clip. Xerint going to grab the bomb himself. And he's got a small bomb, but he's going to get through with no problem.
Yeah, not going to lie, Ruby's bomb clip setup is a bit scary for me. He changes the camera. He does that see right so early. It's just, I haven't really seen that before. I'm more familiar with Xerint's kind of setup there. But nevertheless, if it works, it works. And we'll see how Ruby does, and Xerint also does in Womps here. Xerint had a bit of trouble with Womps last time, and Ruby's had 2 pretty consistent Womps so far. So very curious to see how this is going to end up for both of them.
It's like Ruby heading up for his Alice. Nice angle there, and he is in the cage, missing that dive again.
Yeah, that was like a repeat. I mean, we've seen that almost 3 times from him. And Xerint with the Simply Alice setup here, looking good.
Both runners neck and neck right now. If you look at the timers are about 5 seconds apart. So we'll try to call this as best we can as Ruby sets up for a full sock folder setup on cannonless.
He's kind of far from the plank there.
A little bit to the right on the grab, but he's still going to nail the star. Meanwhile, Xerint as well going for sock folder, the punch, the hang, the camera adjustment, and he is in, grabbing that star right and panning out right at about 259.
Yeah, looking very solid from both runners. For that sock folder setup, was a bit scared of Ruby's initial kind of setup there, but nevertheless, looking pretty good. And hardest star in the game, Wild Blue coming up. Ruby nails it. Let's see how Xerint does.
Looking good as well. I thought maybe he was a little too sharp on the side flip there, but it looked good. Great wall kick. Both runners are in there. Ruby re-entering the painting at 333, and Xerint as well, 332, 333 as well. These runners are about as tied as it gets right now.
Yeah, nice. One minor mistake could really turn the tides here in Womps, but Xerint just going to save a bit of time of that fence clip movement. But both runners handily taking the Womp King out of commission, and Ruby's going to land right underneath that star. Looking pretty good.
Xerint using a camera I'm not familiar with, but also lined up directly on that star.
Yeah, so much of this stuff comes down to personal preference. There's obviously lag reduction strats and certain things that are kind of mandatory, I guess, but a lot of it just really comes down to personal preference. And when you're on emulator or VC, I mean, that kind of goes out the window in terms of lag reduction and whatnot. But
absolutely.
Man, looks like we're going to have 2 almost identical Womp splits here. Ruby with a 440, and Xerint going to be losing a bit of time because of that ledge grab there, but 443 it looks like. So Ruby got about a 3-second lead here, and we'll see how wall kicks will work. Treats Ruby here as well as Xerint. CCM really not too much of an issue here. Kind of just a Dark World waiting room in 16 star.
We like to call it free CM in my channel.
I like that, actually.
I'm not sure where I first heard that, but it stuck with me. Now
Ruby's going for the safe again.
Yeah, if you go for the backflip wall kick here, that is the only time it ends up not being free CM.
Yeah, it's definitely a pretty difficult strat, but if you do the pro movement quickly, I think it's like 9 seconds, which saves maybe 2 over the intermediate strat, so it's pretty good.
Backflip wall kick, I believe, is a high 8 if it's executed perfectly, whereas the beginner strat, if you do the triple jump, I believe it's around 11. So we're going to save, I think, a total of 3 with backflip wall kick, but perfect execution on both ends, which you never see in a race.
Yeah, it's tough for sure, but it does save a bit of time. A bit cringe when you see runners, beginner runners doing this. Oh, and Xerint taking a spill. But, when you see runners line up for the backflip and it takes them 4 seconds, and you're like, come on, just do the beginner strat. You're losing all this time here. I guess it doesn't hurt to practice more advanced strats down the line, but I like my bread and butter strats, those intermediate level on the RTA guide. You know, kind of that middle ground of safe, but also still kind of quick.
I always like to tell the new runners on my channel, learn Dark World Reds today. Don't waste any time. Even if you've got a slow PB, go ahead and learn it now, because after you get a taste of 16, you're going to want to move on to 70. You're going to have to learn it anyways. And if you're going to get fast, you're going to have to know how to do it. So Dark World Reds is learn it today, because the longer you wait, the harder it's going to get.
Yeah, definitely agreed on that front. I myself started out as a 16 runner, like many of us. Have since moved on to 70 and kind of hit my goal. So wondering, should I go to 120 or not? But I think I'm going to keep going with 70. But definitely agreed. It's nice to learn those longer category strats. As Ruby nailing the shake cycle here, as is Xerint. We'll see how this ending movement goes.
And Xerint grabbing that last coin about 1 second faster than Ruby.
Yeah, I believe maybe the beginning movement is what kind of Ruby took a ground pound at the beginning, so I think that might have lost him just a bit of time.
And let's see how these Bowser throws play out. Ruby with his first throw. Looks like a direct hit to me. Xerint, can he answer? Yes, he can. What a big boy throw. Bowser sailing into the air. And let's see what these key grab times look like. This is a neck-and-neck race once again. Ruby opting for the dab. My fans love it. 758 on the key. And Xerint, 756. That might be the third dab we've seen out of Ruby tonight. I know that the regular viewers of my channel are going to love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just gonna want to correct myself. Ruby actually hit normal cycle there, I believe. Was kind of not paying attention for some reason. Just assumed he would get shig cycle, and he's disappointing me. But anyway, Ruby definitely ahead in the swag points. As some weird guy points out, this is not the swag invitational. We're not awarding swag points. I mean, we might be, but they don't count for anything.
We have some surprise prizes coming up pretty soon, but I don't want to give any clues away. Let's just say when exciting things happen, people get rewarded.
I like it. I like it. Kind of like a Sports Center top 10 or something. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe do like a sport. Oh, and Xerint. Seen by the Shy Guy just a bit early. That's unfortunate.
And then ground pounding instead of a long jump.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, he's going to take a dab.
Oh, my goodness, Xerint. That was quite unfortunate. I like the clever use of the slide kick there, but, man, that is just an unfortunate death to take.
This is not what you want to see.
I like that. Oh, and Xerint having an issue with the Talon Star again. And taking it.
No, what is another ground pound?
An instant replay or something? Oh, my goodness. And he's got to go meet the Talon at the other end of the pyramid here. Not the mistake that you want to happen on this game 3. But, man, what a mistake to make twice.
This is more or less Ruby's race to lose now. I mean, his fate's in his own hands. Without any mistakes from Ruby, I don't know if there's any amount of strats that Xerint could use within his toolbox to catch up at this point.
Xerint has shown a very solid end game the past 2 races. His BLJs have been like nearly perfect. It looks like Xerint's actually going to go for the side hop.
Let's see how this wall kick works out. Boom, nailing the ledge grab, dive down the ramp, a little bit of a long jump, and getting hung up a little bit, but still grabbing the star at 10:15. And I want to point out in chat real quick, Joe Logan 1010 saying Ruby with the late ad clutch karma. Couldn't agree anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for those uninitiated, I suppose, Xerint ended up missing, not purposefully forgetting Pyramid Star, but he actually decided to go for a strat called Side Hop, which just saves a bit of time over that. Actually, wait, did he forget Pyramid Star? Because Pyramid Star is faster than Side Hop. Oh, he's actually going to do, sorry, he's doing Side Hop in lieu of Rolling Rocks. Sorry about that.
Yep. Yeah, because he has now got 12 stars. Talking to Toad, that's going to give him 13 and only 2 to grab.
Yeah, got a bit mixed up there. Somebody said that he didn't do Pyramid. Got a little bit confused. I'm pretty sure he did Pyramid. And maybe Xerint a bit frustrated with the Rolling Rock RNG, perhaps.
Ruby going the long way around to grab Mips. Missing the Mips grab, but a quick setup for the re-grab there. No side flips here tonight.
Yep, that was a bit scary. Sometimes if you go at Mips like too slowly, he kind of jukes you out. But anyway, see how this clip goes for Ruby. He's struggled a bit in the past. Definitely not a 16 runner in RWBYSorry. He is 120 tried and true, but nice Mips clip.
Beautiful Mips clip. Took his time setting it up. He's got the lead.
Okay, so I'm confused on the route here, but nice clip there from Ruby. I don't think Xerint did this Pyramid Star, and he did side hop instead, which is slower. So I'm a bit confused. Maybe he just actually forgot.
We can ask him about it afterwards, spamming that C left into the door to reduce lag and Mips. We can ask him about it after the race, but it might have been the case he forgot and realized when he was in Lethal Lava Land that he needed another star.
You know what? That actually is, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
You know, with the death that he took, he ended up re-entering SSL. And sometimes when you re-enter SSL after a death in a race situation like this, it might feel more like you've already grabbed a star than taking a death. And
Xerint's struggling with this Mips clip here, very uncharacteristically so from what we've seen for the past 2 races. But anyway, Ruby finishing up Dire Docks with quite the lead here, and Xerint has a lot of time to make up as he struggles with this clip here, but looking good there. And Ruby just got to hold it together here. This is absolutely, like you said, his race to lose. Lots of big mistakes from Xerint that we're not used to seeing from him, but Ruby cruising through Fire Sea. Looks like we could see an early cycle out of here. He didn't get the triple jump, but it's still possible. It's going to be tough.
Side flip up the ramp. No, he got a little caught up there. He's not going to hit that early cycle, which is just what Xerint needs. He might need a little more. You can see him spamming R there. A little bit frustrated not hitting that early cycle. But
hey, at least he's not rage pausing. That's way worse.
We've seen some rage pausing in the Mushroom Cup, and we can't wait to see some more. The emotions running high with so much on the line here with these big prizes that we've got for runners. I hear in the chat that's an Aaron strat. I think you're probably talking about Slow Cycle and Fire Sea, if I had to guess. Slow Cycle and Fire Street is in Aaron strat.
And Ruby gonna miss the throw.
Oh no, that is
exactly what Xerint needs there.
That is not a throw you want to miss. That's gonna cost him. Oh, and then almost taking a bum burn there.
Yeah, and that would have killed him. But looks like this is an easy. And Xerint struggling here in Fire Sea as well.
Oh,
he's gonna miss that cycle on top of that.
Heading for normal cycle as well.
Yeah, Ruby losing quite a bit of time there. Don't really anticipate seeing 2 higher level runners missing the throw back to back, but I guess anything's possible. And Ruby there with a dab. Pretty swag. And very early burn from Xerint, but that's fine.
Nice roll out into the funnel there. That funnel can be a time cost as well if you get hung up in there. You don't hit that dive just right. Ruby heading up the staircase for BLJs. Meanwhile, Xerint waiting to grab that Bowser tail. Let's see how beautiful direct hit for Xerint there. Remember, Xerint's timer is about 5 seconds slower than Ruby's, so he is 5 seconds further along than it looks.
Nice second BLJ there from Ruby. Lots of speed. Missed the first one, unfortunately, but second one is just as well. And Ruby's got to hustle here. You know, nice little ground pound, but catches instantly, and I believe he made it up. Looks like he did.
It looks like he sure did. And he is headed into Bowser in the Sky with 15:44 on the timer. Meanwhile, Xerint unlocking the upstairs door with 15:44 on the timer, so he is BLJ's behind Ruby, going for pro movement on the triple jump dive. He's got to know that he's got a substantial lead here. Oh no, diving and bonking. Going for that.
That's unfortunate, but you know, he's a 120 runner, so he's probably not as afraid to make that mistake because he knows that backup so well. That's movement that's essential in 120 stars, so really not that big of a mistake out of Ruby there.
kids at home, get your notebooks out, take some notes. That double jump wall kick onto the carousel, that's how you want to recover from a mistake there.
Yeah, you actually have to hit the right side of that pole. You can't just hit it anywhere. As much as you'd like to think that you could just hit it in the middle, you actually have to go pretty far to the right. The polygons are a bit weird. It looks like Ruby is going to be headed into throws here. Xerint following sort of closely behind. Ruby can't, totally melt down here. Can't afford too many missed throws, but he could afford one or two.
Well,
Looks
let's
like the
not
first
give
one
him
is
the
right there.
option. Locked and loaded on that first throw. Direct hit to the center of the hitbox of that bomb. The second one
That
looks
one's
to be
gonna miss.
wide right. Bowser going to have to jump back onto the stage here. While Xerint, meanwhile, Xerint hitting the invisible wall on the long jump over to the pipe. That's going to give Ruby all the time he needs to really kind of milk these throws.
Oh my goodness, Ruby, what are you doing, bud?
Short of taking a death, there really isn't anything that Ruby can do here to lose this race. Xerint diving into the pipe at 17:22. Let's see Ruby finish strong on the final throw here. And he's
going to miss it.
No, he nailed it.
Oh my goodness.
Snagging the right side of that hitbox by a hair. And it looks
for
like
the queen and country, RWBYSorry taking the W. Oh my goodness.
Can we get a for the queen in the chat? 17:50, his final time, besting my PB by about 8 seconds here. Meanwhile, Xerint lining up for another Bowser throw. Boom, nails it. Headed
what
to
an excellent race.
Another excellent race out of these two. Beautiful final throw by Xerint. And he's going to finish with a low 18 as well. Let's see what the final time is on Xerint's timer. Let's see some big GGs in the chat for Xerint and Ruby. 18:18, the final time. Another clutch race. Ruby winning 2 in a row to take it. We'll give these runners just a moment here before we bring them on for a post-race interview. Wow, what a race.
What a race. Wow.
The late tournament joiner, RWBYSorry, taking it 2 races in a row. Xerint taking the first race early, and then 2 in a row from Ruby.
Wow. The underdog. I honestly think in terms of 16-star. They were close, but I honestly had this one edged out to Xerint, but Ruby with an absolute clutch 2 games there. It was looking really tough after that first one.
Man, what a race we had here. And this is just our first set of races tonight. We've got our second set of races starting at 7 p.m. We're going to get our runners ready for the post-race little interview we're going to do here. Ruby preparing right now, muting his desktop audio so we don't hear double. I'm getting a demand for an English accent. If we hit both of our if we hit both our sub goal and our sticker goal, then we will most definitely hear an English accent out of Aaron. So get in that sticker store, buy your stickers, gift a sub if you've already got one. The gift of emotes is hot this summer 2020. We know you're spending lots of time online. You want to spam those tie-dye emotes. And there's a Ziggy emote too. Looks like we've lost Ziggy. There's a storm in my area right now. He's hiding under a table.
What a race. My goodness.
All right. Looks like both runners are available for interviews. You can unmute yourselves as you're ready in the Discord voice chat. Oh, there. I think it might have it set up so that I've got to unmute them. So I'm unmuting the runners right now. Ruby, Xerint, welcome in. GG's on the races. Ruby, how are you feeling after a win joining the tournament today?
I think I can say I wasn't expecting it. I also definitely wasn't expecting to have such consistent runs, considering how long it's been. But yeah, this was like refreshing, I guess, because as Collins mentioned, it's been quite a while since I've been in the tournament, and it's been even longer since I've been successful in one. So it's very nice to pull out some very consistent runs. 317s is more than I could have asked for.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well, and that's what we kind of expected, or at least I expected, you being a 120 runner. That consistency is really kind of your bread and butter, not going for anything crazy, but playing consistently is, and it ended up working out in your favor. So, I mean, congrats on the win for sure. But Xerint, how are you feeling, my friend? Again, great job. I mean, what a first run. That run was crazy.
Yeah, I'm really proud of that first run. I was playing like really bad when I was preparing, so I didn't expect to do well at all, but I did pretty well considering.
Yeah, I thought it was excellent. I honestly, I didn't really check. I don't know if you saw, but was that a 1650 or a 1651? I'm
gonna have to retime.
Yeah, because that looked like it could have beat your LPLJ PB by a little, maybe even half a second. So pretty cool.
Yeah,
getting that Ruby bop.
Go ahead, Ruby.
Yeah, Xerint bopped my PB there by 3 or 4 seconds with that. So
that's
GG.
Something else to see a PB in the pro bracket, let alone bopping the runner that you're running against. That's a pretty cool and exciting thing that we've got going on here. So Ruby, you are going to move on to the second round here. Taking a look at the pro bracket, you're going to face Flixer64. Have you watched much of Flixer's race? I know Flixer definitely has competed in your tournaments in the past. How are you expecting to match up against Flixer?
I'm scared. Yeah, I mean, I was talking to Aaron before coming on here, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to beat Xerint, but if I do, I was curious who my opponent would be. Now that I know, GG Flixer, good luck in the final.
He kind of approached this race with the same mentality of, I don't think I'm going to be moving on, but I'm happy to fill the spot. Just an attitude of, I'd like to go, I'd like to put on a good show. And that's exactly what both of our runners did tonight. Xerint and Ruby. Xerint, congrats on the possible PB there. Looking forward to that retime, seeing if your time bops Ruby on speedrun.com coming up. GG's, thanks for participating, Xerint. Any final words?
No, I'm good.
All right, thanks for participating. And Ruby, we will see you next week. The second round of the pro bracket has not yet been scheduled, but feel free to reach out to Flixer and start to schedule, see what time periods work best for both of you. I know with you in the UK, I believe Flixer's in the US. So feel free to start working that out as early as it's convenient for both of you two. And once again, GG's and congratulations, Ruby, for moving on to the second round.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on such short notice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Ruby, before we let you go, we have a command live, !70 for your 70-star tournament. Do you want to tell my viewers right now a little bit about your 70-star tournament that you've got coming up? The finals coming up on Saturday, I believe?
So this is actually quite unique in a tournament in that we do believe that it is, we don't have it confirmed, but we do believe it is the largest SM64 tournament to take place. We had 80 total participants join, and we're all the way down to 2 people now with Gainai27 versus Okami BW. Okami has been extremely consistent, and Gainai, just in his last race versus Parakusha, got a 48-58. So very exciting stuff, and I hope to see some of you guys there.
It couldn't be any more exciting. Getting a 48 in a 70-star tournament race, that's an insane time to get. We've got the finals for the 70-star, the Ruby Mill 70-star tournament, going to be streamed on Saturday at twitch.tv/RubyMill. That's RWBYMILL. And you can also see the bracket as well. Just exclamation point 70 in the chat here. Once again, GG's and congratulations for moving on to the next round. And thanks for filling us in about the 70-star tournament on Saturday.
Absolutely. Thanks for letting me promote it here.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to.